Okay, joining us now at the Media Center here at Charlotte Motor Speedway is four-time defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion and Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year.
Thanks, Jenna.
2009. I will say that at every opportunity I can. He drives the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. He's Jimmie Johnson. He's currently fourth in our point standing. Jimmy, I got a couple things I'm going to ask you. First of all, you're coming to a racetrack where you've been very dominant over the past 5 or 6 years, racing in the All-Star race, and then the Coke 600 next weekend. Your outlook the next couple of weekends?
Definitely excited for the weeks here in Charlotte. This track has been really good to our race team over the years, and also to Hendrick Motorsports. So to come to a track that's good for the organization, good for the race team, it's build some excitement, anticipation to get on the racetrack. For whatever reason, Dover seems to correlate to this track. So our run in Dover was really strong. So I feel like, based on history, how we ran at Dover, that we should have a good weekend. Excited for it. There's a different excitement for the All-Star race that I know everyone experiences and sees it. It's just great to not have anything to worry about tomorrow night when we go racing, and then we come back for the 600, and it's a total flip of that where you have a lot to worry about because it's a 600-mile race and so many things change throughout the course of the event. So it's fun to mix it up this weekend, and hopefully we have that Lowe's car in victory lane.
Also, I understand that this morning that you all announced that you will be racing in the Grand Am sports car event up in the Watkins Glen later this summer. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge time-wise, but I'm very excited to have this opportunity. The Bob Stallings Gainsco team has invited me to come compete in the 6-hour event that takes place at Watkins Glen while we race in Pocono. So I need to get in the car and make some laps, and hopefully there won't be any weather issues, and I can get to the Glen early Friday morning, just run for 10 or 15 minutes the way it looks, commute back to Pocono in order for our practice session at noon. So we're very excited for the opportunity. I've always wanted to run the boot. I really enjoy driving those cars, and certainly honored that they've invited me to come and run in a different event with them than the 24-hour race. So hopefully it all works out. I mean, the big thing here is the timing of it. There is also a practice session late in the day, but depending on my qualifying draw and how well we run at qualifying, it will impact that opportunity to be on track as well. So there's a good chance I'll only have 10 minutes of practice in that thing before I get in and have to race it.
You won't need that long. Questions? Start right here with Mike.
Mike Hembry, SpeedTV.com. Jimmy, last year in this race in the 10-lap shootout, the first few laps, the racing was pretty frantic. I think you were a victim sort of that. Do you go into that thinking that you have to get what you can get in those first 2 or 3 laps, or you're just not going to make it to the front if you're, say, 5th, 6th, 7th at the start of that?
Yeah, track position is so important, and I think we're so programmed that restarts, new tires, there's an opportunity to pass multiple cars, go like hell. And it leads to excitement and bent up race cars, and I kind of fell a victim to that last time. But what's tricky here is, unlike a lot of tracks we go to, new tires take a while to come in this track, and the combination of the tire and the asphalt, especially if there's any track temp, it's pretty sketchy, and you've got to be smart at the start of that. But we're always walking that fine line and trying to figure out how to make up positions and get by guys. So it'll be an exciting start as well. And again, we're also programmed that new tires take advantage of it. You're bunched up. You'll see a lot of intense racing on restarts.
Okay, raise our hands here. We'll go front row. Tom, front row, and then back. Steve's got one. Go ahead.
Hi, Jimmy. Tom Jensen, SpeedTV.com. 2 questions for you. Number one, as a past multiple-time winner of this event, take us through the last 10 laps, where you want to be when that starts, and what your strategy is. And second, how much of an advantage is it going to be for Hamlin to have that first pit stall with a mandatory pit stop?
Our pit's already picked.
Well, he gets the first choice because he won the pit crew challenge.
Oh, okay. I see. I learn something new every day. I didn't even know he won the pit stop competition. Awesome. I know we were out first round, so I left.
Beat the 31 team.
Okay. Congratulations, guys. Yeah, pit road pick, there's certainly an advantage there. Sometimes it's just the placement of the camera, but in most cases there is a long segment to accelerate into, so that'll be helpful. Won't have any traffic because they leave an opening between each stall, so that'll be a bit of an advantage for sure. But what was the first part about the closing laps? The track position is so important, and the fact that the cars are so equal that you want to start up front. And I'm not sure if you want to be the inside lane or the outside, but starting up front's everything. And we'll be working as hard as we can all night long to get track position and to maintain it.
Go front row right here, and then we'll go to Steve Richards and then Viv.
Hi, Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. Jimmy, since the transition from the wing to the spoiler, Joe Gibbs Racing has obviously won the majority of the races since that happened, and enough to lead your boss to say that he thought Gibbs had actually caught up and maybe even passed you guys, although Joe Gibbs doesn't agree with that. After your good run at Dover, do you think you guys are catching back up to them, or has the addition of the spoiler thrown you guys a curve and it's just taking you a while to get the feel back in the car?
Yeah, I've been under the impression, I think the garage area has too, that there hasn't been a change from spoiler to wing to spoiler. And I think it's finally now, it's been heard enough to where I just saw DW on television saying that there is no difference, and he's been criticizing the team saying, well, since the spoiler's been there, the 48 hasn't been running good. So I think it's finally, everybody's understanding that there really isn't a big change. And I think what it boils down to is that there are good racetracks for certain drivers and certain organizations. We just came out of a stretch where there weren't some of our better tracks. Although we've won at some of those tracks, they're just not our best tracks. Darlington's been a backbreaker for us since it's been repaved. Richmond has been either victory lane or terrible. We finished 10th, so I look at it and say, man, we ran decent. Dover is a great racetrack for the 48 team, and we went in there with high hopes and certainly ran like we expected to. So I think it's more in the fact that there are good tracks for teams, drivers, organizations than it is anything.